What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Welcome to another episode in the saga that is Break with Breaks. This is a series where I give you tips and tricks to get better at MK. So let's take a break as we break down some MK with me, Breaks. In today's episode, we're going to be going over spacing. That's right, spacing. One of the most important ways to actually assure your own victory is to control the space around you. And Mortal Kombat has many different ways in which you can do spacing. One of them is zoning, as most people are well aware of zoning. And zoning can be kind of an annoying way to think of spacing. This character that I'm playing right here, right now, Kenshi, actually has a lot of zoning features, as you can see with his special moves there, that basically control all the space that is around you. There you see it, the back forward X. That's one of them. Back forward Y is another form of zoning, as well as control, and his down back circle. Those are all different forms of zoning. Many characters in the game have zoning, and zoning is an effective way of controlling space and an effective way of spacing. However, zoning can be kind of annoying, and online, when you're just playing online matches, and it's kind of very chill, you're not really trying to win a tournament or anything like that. You're just trying to hang out and play some games. Zoning can kind of be seen as spam, and most people do spam when they do zoning because they don't really know what zoning is. Zoning is just supposed to keep your opponent out. Once your opponent gets in, it's time to actually do some combos. It's time to actually fight your opponent and then push them back out with something kind of like that. And then you can go right back to your zoning as you were doing before. But you gotta know how to do combos. You can't just spam full screen. Otherwise, it's not zoning, actually is spam. Another form of spacing can be knowing the moves that your characters have that actually cover a lot of range. It's very important, especially in Mortal Kombat X. There's a lot of characters in Mortal Kombat X that have a lot of range on their moves. Let's go ahead and take a look at Kenshi's back one. Look at where I'm standing on the screen. I'm pretty far from him to actually get a hit. You'd have to be much closer. As you can see here, all these things kind of whiff and don't touch him. But Kenshi's back one, look at that amazing range. It takes me all the way from where I am and brings me in just enough to be able to hit him. And that's another form of spacing. Knowing how far you can be from your opponent and then using a move that can come in and hit him. Another character that has this insane amount of spatial control is Kodokan. As you can see, look how far away I am. But Kodokan just moves all the way in to do his attacks. Kodokan can really control space, even from full screen, as you can see, or the second it starts off, Kodokan's already in their face. So to be effective at spatial control is very important to know what kind of moves can your character do to cover a long amount of space in a short amount of time. Many characters in MKX have a lot of spatial control moves, a lot of moves that they can do that just cover space. So go ahead and go into your menu. No matter what character you're playing, you need to learn the actual range of the character so you can know how far you can hit your opponent from and how much damage you can do based off of where you're standing. That's a very important part of spacing. A very important part of spacing is knowing how far your character can actually hit the opponent from. Because if you know how far you can hit the opponent from, then you know your safe zone. You know, ooh, I could back up all the way over here and then still hit him with that move and be able to follow it up. Every character has their own amount of range and every character can hit from a certain distance. So when you're learning your character and when you're learning spacing, learn the kind of range that your character can hit from, what's important for your character. A very important form of spacing is actually backdashing. In Mortal Kombat X, you can actually backdash to get away from your opponent, as you can see here, which costs 1 bar of stamina. And if you have 1 bar of stamina, you can backdash, and it safely allows you to control a certain amount of space. Backdashing is a very effective tool when trying to punish certain moves. As you can see there, the third strike in Alien's Tarkatan Rush thing, you can actually backdash it. So backdash on the third one, and you can't hit me. Learning when to backdash a certain move has a lot of benefits, one of which being in the corner. As you can see here, we backdash his moves and we were able to get a full combo punish on him. Unfortunately, we couldn't complete the combo because I noob, but we could get a full combo punish on him for him trying to do that move there, as you can see. So it's very important to know when can you backdash, when can't you backdash, and basically learn to utilize your backdashes in your matches because your backdashes is probably going to be one of your best forms of spatial control. Low pokes are probably one of the most effective and most often used forms of spacing. Many a times you'll see when a match starts off and someone's playing Scorpion or Sub-Zero or any character that can down and then press a poke button that can reach your opponent. Most of the time at the very start of the match, you'll see those people do that move just to get the quick first hit in and guarantee yourself some easy bar of meter there. So it's very important to learn how much space can your character control, because if your character can control a decent amount of space, at the very start of the round, you can just down poke and gain an instant bar without even having to do anything. Most Kodokans start off with back 1, which their back 1 covers a lot of range. Sub-Zero doesn't have a back 1, but he sure as hell has a back 2 that covers a lot of range. So it's important that you yourself learn what can your character do to cover a lot of range that maybe other characters can't do, to give yourself a little bit of an advantage in a match. Low poking is easily one of the most effective forms of spatial control. A lot of people who don't really know how to control space, what they tend to do, and what you'll see a lot, is they jump a lot. They jump and they try to get in. They jump to try to close the gap because they don't know how to control the gap. And so they just want to get closer to their opponent because they know any move that they do close to their opponent will actually hit. That's not the most effective form of spatial control. It's very important to learn not to jump so much as your form of controlling space, especially as this character, as Sub-Zero here, or Scorpion, sorry, correction. Scorpion can control space in multiple different forms. His back 2, as you can see, controls a lot of space. So even from all the way back here, I'm able to get a hit on my opponent without ever needing to jump in. While still staying on the ground, I completely hit him from all the way back there. So it's very important to learn what can your character do to control space and to get in and to get the hit you need to get, so that way you can be at an advantage without needing to constantly jump at your opponent to close gaps. You'll see that a lot of new players tend to just jump over and over and over again, trying to get closer to their opponent because they don't really know what they can do on the ground to close a gap. Right now we're going to see a prime example of that spacing that I was talking about earlier. You'll see that I don't want to deal with Kano's wake up, so once I get him in the corner, I'm able to just back up knowing that my character Kenshi can hit from a far range and get a full combo off of it. As you can see right there, I just back up, let him wake up, his wake up completely whiffs, and I get a full combo punish. As you can see here, I am utilizing the same technique, the same backdash that I told you guys about before, but with a completely different character. As you can see, I knock Kano down, and then to avoid his wake up, I backdash and immediately get a full combo punish off of his whiffed move. It's very important that you utilize your backdash, so that way you can get full punishes off on your opponent. Right there, you saw the backdash in slow motion. So make sure you know when to backdash, when not to backdash, and how much space can your character control to punish moves that your opponents do. Another very important form of spatial control is punishing jump-ins. As you'll see here shortly, my opponent, this Br8kz that I'm fighting, tries to jump in to close a gap, and as I've mentioned earlier, jumping in is not always the most effective way to close gaps. Sometimes it's very important just to know what can your character do on the ground. Maybe you just need to run in, maybe you just need to dash up. There's a multitude of things you can do other than just jumping in. And as you'll see after the round here, my opponent, the Br8kz that I'm about to fight, tries to jump in to close this gap that we have, and I get a full combo punish off of it. See, he simply walked back and then completely punished her jump in. Now I am at an advantage in the corner and she is at a disadvantage, all because she tried to jump in to close that gap rather than simply walking forward. So make sure you utilize walking and dashing instead of just jumping, because as you can see here, if you just jump, you can get completely whiff punished and eat a full combo. So that's all for spacing. I hope you guys all learned everything that you needed to know, and if there's anything I didn't go over that you still would like to know, leave it in the comments and let me know. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe for more MKX content, for more Breaks with Breaks as we continue to break down MKX and grow together as players. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Once again, if there's something you do not know or there's something you feel is left out, leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. I hope you all have a great day and I'll see you all in the next video.